Their Lux Lite II cap is kind of an improvement from their original Lux Lite cap. Your full monofilament tops, you can part this wherever you want. I love that curtain bang. I have a thing about curtain bangs. Anyways, it can work nicely in a ponytail. This is one where I feel like as you wear it, the bigger and bigger it's gonna get. Sometimes I'm like, okay, it's cute. And other times I'm like, I don't know how to tame this thing. It's wild. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm looking forward to sharing with you 3 of Raquel Welch's brand new releases this spring from their sheer luxury collection. But before I jump into it all, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. Alright, so on April 1st, 2026, Raquel Welch launched 3 new styles into their sheer luxury collection. These 3 new styles all have their Lux Lite II cap, as well as their Feather Lite heat-friendly synthetic fiber. So I will jump into all of that right now. So I will just show you the cap one time because the cap is going to be the same for all 3 styles I'm showing you today. And then I'll talk briefly about their Feather Lite fibers, and then we're going to just go through the styles quickly. Okay, so their Lux Lite II cap is kind of an improvement from their original Lux Lite cap. The original Lux Lite cap just had a left monofilament part and then the rest was a hand-tied top. This one, what they've done is they've made that parting space bigger. So they have what they call a full monofilament top. However, it's not quite as large of a monofilament top as other monofilament tops. Just as an example, I have this one here. See how this reaches all the way around that whole horseshoe space on the top of your wig. This one, oh, butterfingers over here. This one almost reaches that whole space, but beyond that, it's going to be hand tied. So regardless of how much space it is giving you to part it, you can still part it on the left, on the right, and in the center. So you still have the ability to part it anywhere you want. I'm just making sure we can see that there is a little bit of a difference in comparison to other full monofilament tops. Okay, on top of that, we have your extended temple to temple lace front, also made with that same monofilament material. It just goes right into that. So it extends just a little bit further than this seam right here into your felt ear tabs with silicone on top. So you can see here that stitching, it's large stitching, which makes it easy for you to remove the silicone. If you would like to then reveal felt underneath if you're not into the silicone. I personally, as a petite size and as someone who doesn't have hair, I personally love the silicone. It helps make me feel like it's a little bit more secure on my head. We also have that same feature on the nape here. And again, as someone who is a petite and who has no hair, I love pulling back and down to kind of stretch it as much as I can over my head. And then that silicone helps it on me stay without riding up and feeling too bulky. And then you have your Velcro adjusters, so you can bring it in a little bit if you need to. Plus we have your partially hand-tied cap. So a partially hand-tied cap means that it's partly hand-tied, partly wefted. So we have closed wefts here, which means that a machine has sewn all of these into rows. And basically that's gonna provide a little bit more stability with the wig. And this is also an area where you could add permatease, or sorry, the manufacturers could add permatease if they wish. I will let you know about any permatease as we go through these wigs though. And then up here, this is all hand tied. Whenever you have a hand tied portion on a cap, that means somebody tied it with their hands into these little clusters. And whenever you have a hand-tied portion, you never have any permatease. And it also allows you to kind of move the fiber or move the hair kind of in any direction you want. It's kind of as if this were the fiber that was sewn onto the wig by hand. It can go all the way around. You can kind of move it wherever you want. It allows the hair or fiber to move a little bit more freely. Whereas when it's in wefts like this, it's sewn into those rows. So if it's sewn onto here, you don't have as much movement. Like you can go up and down, but you can't naturally go around and around. It's just kind of sewn there and can kind of just move a little bit less naturally. But despite all of that, that doesn't mean that this is not a natural wig in the slightest. I'm just kind of making sure you guys can understand sort of the difference in how it's made. Okay, I think I went through the Lux Lite cap. So like I said, this Lux Lite cap is going to be the same on all 3 styles I'm showing you today. Now, one more thing I'll talk about before I jump into all the styles is the fact that these are made with Raquel Welch's Feather Lite fibers. So last year in 2025, they introduced 5 new styles within their sheer luxury collection with the Lux Lite II cap and Feather Lite fibers. So you may remember when Raquel Welch launched Showrunner, Feature Length, Waves and Raves, Straight to Camera, and Posh Premiere. Those 5 styles were the first 5 styles introduced with this cap and these Feather Lite fibers. Now, here we are, April 2026. We have 3 more styles to add with those same features. So the Feather Lite fiber is basically a lighter, heat-friendly synthetic fiber. And the reason it is lighter is because it is shaped as a tube, kind of like a drinking straw. So the center of these fibers are all hollowed out, which whenever I think about that, my mind just explodes because these are just teeny tiny little fibers. Like, how is it hollowed out? Science. Science is crazy. Anyways, so by hollowing out these fibers, it's going to provide a little bit more lightness and now what they call their Feather Lite fiber. Now, I always get asked the question, do these Feather Lite fibers tangle as much as Raquel Welch's true to life heat-friendly synthetic fiber, or do they frizz as much as those fibers? And you know what? I have found that they do. I have found that after wearing, in particular, I wear a lot of feature length. That's one of my favorite styles from their launch last year. I wear feature length a lot, and I am still always having to use my hot air brush to tame the frizz kind of every second or third wear or so. So just like any heat-friendly synthetic fiber, these fibers are still gonna act the same way, to be honest. I haven't noticed that drastic of a difference in terms of tangling or frizzing, especially now that I have worn these wigs for about a year and sort of experienced it. So if you are new to wigs, then one thing that you should understand is that heat-friendly synthetic fibers, especially if they are shoulder length and longer, are going to tangle and frizz, and they will need maintenance with heat. Now, something like this one is called Tailored Allure. Tailored Allure is not going to need as much maintenance with heat. It's not going to frizz as much, and it's not going to tangle as much. So this is actually a really great length for a throw on and go kind of a wig, and for someone who wants a low maintenance style. You're not gonna get that friction frizz from it rubbing against your shoulders and clothing, and it's not long enough to really tangle. Of course, you'll get the odd little tangles here and there, but it's really not gonna be that bad. So this is going to be a great one for just easy maintenance, throw on and go, not having to worry too much about it throughout the day, which is really nice for new wig wearers. Now, I have Tailored Allure on my head right now in the color RL12 22SS, which is one of the most popular colors by Raquel Welch, and it's called Shaded Cappuccino. So essentially what you're gonna have here is a 12. So the 12 is that sort of lighter golden brown that you see, leaning a little bit warm. And then the 22 is more of a lighter, paler, neutral blonde running throughout it. Now, on top of all that, you're also gonna have a medium brown root. Okay, one thing I will note about this color is they bring the lighter blonde forward at your lace front. And the reason that they do this is to make the knotting on your lace front a little bit less visible. So with this blonde knotting, you're not gonna see the knots as well as if it were the color of the roots. See how when I'll lean my head over here, you can see the darker knotting from that medium brown root there a lot more easily than you can see the knotting on this blonde. So, like I said, that is why they bring this blonde forward, so that it can disguise the knotting. However, the downfall of that is that I should say downfall in my opinion. Not everybody feels the same way, but this is just my opinion. I don't love how it gives you this like streaky banded look in the front of your wig here, and it just makes it look too perfect. It's like you have this little rainbow over your head, and I never feel comfortable pulling it back and off of my face because it doesn't look right. So there is a little fix for that I sometimes do, and I have created a video on this, and that's where I take just like a little fluffy brush and some dark eyeshadow, like a dark brown, even close to black. And I just buff some eyeshadow right at the hairline here, making sure to avoid the lace. And what that's going to do is just soften the look of this bright hairline at the front here and make it blend a little bit more naturally into the rest of the color. Now, sometimes people are like, well, why do they do that? I don't like that strip there. A reason they do that, like I said, is to disguise the knotting, but it's also easier to darken up that fiber with something like eyeshadow than it is to lighten a knot if they were to put the dark color in the front. Does that make sense? Like if they put a dark or medium brown in the front, you're gonna see the knots a lot more visibly. And it's harder to disguise the darker knots than it is to darken a light strip at the front. Does that make sense? Anyways, that's what they do. Some people are okay with it, some people are not. It's one of my like little pet peeves. It's kind of like, there's like a good thing about it and a bad thing about it all at the same time. So it is what it is. Okay, let me go ahead and give you a spin of Tailored Allure here. You're gonna notice it's just this cute, sort of layered, feathered looking bob. So there is lots of feathery light layers in here, making it look really textured and tailored, really. Okay, let me spin. So in the front, you are gonna have a bit of a shorter bang situation here that you can use sort of as a curtain bang if you want. This is something that you can, like I said, part anywhere. So you could part it on the side and it could look something like this. You could have a little bit of a swoop there, but honestly, it's not too drastic and it's very easy to just sort of blend it into the rest of your style. I always get asked the question, can you cut bangs into it? Yes, you can. You can just simply bring the fiber forward. You might need to use some heat right at the root to help direct it, and then you can cut it. And then suddenly you will have a cute little bang that looks better than this. Oh, let me get up close and personal with you with this lace front here. And then your full monofilament top, so you can part this wherever you want. Now, in terms of fit for all three of these styles, I am a petite size. I measure 20.5 inches in circumference, 11.5 inches front to nape, and 11.5 inches ear to ear. The ear to ear on me is perfect, to be honest. Sits just above my ear crease, not really impeding on it, and just in front where your temples are. So here it is on me. In terms of front to nape, there is quite a bit of extra bulk back there. And I will note that this does not really have any stretch from front to nape. So although I do find that this in general fits a little bit bigger than average, like this see, I can just lift this off pretty easily. Although I do find it to fit a little bit bigger than average, if you have a larger sized head, you might have a hard time making this fit because, like I said, there is not that stretch from front to nape. All right, I'm gonna take off Tailored Allure, and we are going to jump into Decadent Diva. So Decadent Diva has the exact same cap, that same Lux Lite II cap, so I'm not even gonna go over it. The fit is the same as Tailored Allure. The fibers are the same with the Feather Lite fiber. So I'm really just gonna put this on and we're gonna talk about the style. This is their longest one out of the three, and I think it's my favorite out of the three. So I will note that these are all straight out of the box. I haven't done any styling to them or anything. We still have the zigzag part in the middle that it comes in. Here is Decadent Diva. I'm just gonna go ahead and start by doing a spin. One thing I did forget to mention with Tailored Allure, this is more of a low to medium density. but you're not gonna find any permatease in the close wefting. Like I was mentioning earlier, how sometimes within the close wefting on certain brands and certain wigs, you do find a little bit of permatease, but you don't find any on Tailored Allure. You also don't find any here on Decadent Diva. And Decadent Diva is also low to medium density. So I'm wearing this here in the color RL6/30 Copper Mahogany. Now, Copper Mahogany is going to be an unrooted color, so there's no rooting on this. And it's going to be a 6, which is a medium leaning dark brunette, and a 30, which is going to be more of a medium auburn, kind of like a coppery auburn color. So it's a really gorgeous warm color. So they have brought forward the 30, which is nice because the 30 is lighter than the 6. So they did a good job of making the knots less visible than they could have been if they stuck with having the 6 right up at the front. But there's your lace front overall. And then of course, you can part this anywhere you want with that full monofilament top. So with the part, you could have the side part that looks something like this, and you have that like longer curtain bang here that can swoop to the side. So this is what a side part would look like. I usually go for a center part. I don't know why. I feel weird with side parts. So let me get this back to the center part. I love that curtain bang. I don't know. I have a thing about curtain bangs. They also make it a lot easier to do an updo and make it just a little bit more of a seamless look. Also, you have this really subtle, lovely wave happening. You have a little bit of layering. You have a few inches where there's going to be layering. So it's not all one length, but it's not drastic layering other than your front curtain bangs here. Let me show you how this one could look in a ponytail. If you're looking for a style that can work in a ponytail and a style that can be versatile, this one could be cute. Make sure whenever you do your ponytail, you're pulling down at your nape, because as you do the ponytail, it's gonna ride up. So if you pull down and sort of bump the fiber around it so that you can hide that seam as much as you possibly can. Anyways, it can work nicely in a ponytail, or you could even do a twist up into an updo. Hold on. Oh gosh. This is not my finest work, by the way, but you get the idea. Maybe. That's really not good. Anyways, it can work in an updo if you take more time than I did. Okay, I have one more to show you from this launch, and it's called Romantic Renaissance. So let me do the old switcheroo here. Again, same Lux Lite II cap, same Feather Lite fibers, same fit, just a different style. The style, sometimes I put it on like 3 times now. Sometimes I'm like, okay, it's cute. And other times I'm like, I don't know how to tame this thing. It's wild. Anyways, this is Romantic Renaissance. It's got these really cute curls on it, and then just a little bit of layering in it as well. Not a ton, but then you do have a little bit of shorter layers in the front here. Anyways, this is the color RL11 25SS Shaded Honey Pecan. If you are someone who really likes shaded cappuccino, but find that shaded cappuccino is out of stock in the wig that you want, you could take a look at shaded honey pecan. They're not exactly the same, but they're similar in a way. You're gonna find more brunette in shaded cappuccino, but here they are in comparison in case you needed to see. And on Shaded Honey Pecan here, you're gonna find more of a golden blonde throughout this. And with that golden blonde, they've of course brought it forward, and it's quite chunky, I find, at the front here, which personally I don't love, but anyways, that is my personal opinion. So they brought that forward again to make that knotting less visible. But like I said, if that's really bothering you, but you're loving the color, you can always get that dark eyeshadow, put it at the front, and that definitely helps tone it down a little bit. Okay, let me give you guys a spin here. Now this is one where I feel like as you wear it, the bigger and bigger it's gonna get. If you do take a wide tooth comb to it though, maybe even a little bit of water, just spray a bit of water to it, you can tame it down a lot more. So I'll show you just with my fingers how we can tame her a little bit more than what she came, or what I'm showing you right away here. So you can tame her just a bit if you combed it down and sprayed some water on it. Now also this has that full monofilament top again, so we can part this wherever we want. So right now I have it just slightly off center. I can show you what a deeper part might look like. If you like having that sort of fullness on one side, then you can do a deep part. See, this is what I mean. I feel like I can't get it to look quite right on me, especially if I do a part like this. Now I'll show you a center part. Center part might be a little bit more manageable for me anyways. But if you are someone who just really loves this big fun hair, you can definitely get this big and fun. Now this is definitely a medium density, and of course all these curls make it big and voluminous. And I will mention that there is no permatease within that wefting there. So we are free of permatease, but definitely not free of volume. But anyways, you guys, that is pretty much all I have to share with you about these styles. Hopefully this was helpful for you. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them below and I will do what I can to answer them. But you guys go and have yourselves a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye everybody.